Good evening, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you are catching this episode in. We appreciate you. This is Brother Herman with Brother Herman's Sermons. Another one of our truth speaking pieces of information coming out of MaikumCdeTruth.org. MaikumCdeTruth is nothing more than a nonprofit organization that we're putting together to help our fellow brothers, our neighbors, our strangers in the streets even, because all we want to do is be a part of the solution instead of remaining to be part of the problem. Our job is to bring forth correct informations, things that can be accredited, things that can be validated to help us through this thing that we call life. And we have termed life to be nothing more than learning infinite frequencies of our eternity. Learning infinite frequencies of eternity. That's all life is. We're just on different frequencies. Some of us are operating on lower frequencies. Some of us are operating on higher frequencies. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We've already established 21 series. We're going to be working on series 22 today. And it is entitled, God Empowers Us Through. We're going to be working on episode number 5, which we have entitled, Are You Shallow? We're going to touch base on what it means to be shallow. We're going to touch base on what it means to be the opposite of shallow. We're going to find out which side do we fall upon, because based upon the side that you fall on, well, that's going to determine the frequency that you are operating on. And then therefore we can get into some greater things, which is maybe the reasons why we are so frustrated, irritated, and feeling like the world is against us at times. When we operate on the right frequency, then we can let go of those types of negative feelings and thoughts, and then be able to operate in the more positive thoughts, because then we can transition into more positive frequencies, more higher frequencies. So first off, we're going to start out by talking about what the word shallow means. And the word shallow, it simply means lacking in depth of intellect or knowledge, for that matter. And you're only concerned only with what is the obvious. To me, that means you are a very visual type person, sensual type person. You operate on what you can see, based off of what you can see only, and seeing is believing for you. There's no faith, there's no hope, there's none of that. And we want to be able to take a good look at that. If that's you, then just own it. And let's see if we can't get you out of that type of shallowness, because shallow only leads to a lot of experiences that we could have avoided or not necessarily had to go through an experience. But at the same time, some people learn slower than others. Some people are on lower frequencies than others. And our job is to help you get on a higher frequency level. And how do we do that? Because we have to first get you to understand if it's you that is shallow. Why are you shallow? So let's take a look at some of those points. When you're young, some of us grow up to be, toddlers. We go from toddlers that we really don't care about too much or nothing. We're not trying to compete with anyone when it comes to toddlership. The only thing you care about is if there's someone's playing with your toy, or somebody took your blanket, somebody ate your cookie during snack times. That's all you really care about. And you really don't want to go to sleep. So when they tell you to go to sleep, you pitch a fit, and you pout and create all kinds of havoc. You wreak havoc around the place. That's what we do when we're toddlers. But as we transition into what we call, I would say, adolescence, when we transition from the toddler state, we most oftentimes go into that grade level, that 10-year-old. The 10-year-old state of existence. From 10 to about 15, we're going to experience all kinds of different hormonal changes. And that's going to affect the way we behave, the way we come across, the way we respond to all kinds of informations and stimuli that is presented to us during our transitioning process. Remember, there's different phases in life. The phase 1 is the baby phase, the toddler phase, and then phase 2 is going to be the teenager phase, and then we're going to transition into that young adult phase, and then lastly but not leastly, we're going to transition to that adult phase. Okay, and we're going to experience all different types of stimuli along the way. We're going to experience all different types of occurrences and events that are going to help shape the person that we become. So if we're a shallow type of a person starting out to be that way because we're taught to be shallow, I don't believe anyone is born shallow. I believe we're all taught different things, and one of those things is how to be, or how to perceive, how to view others around you. And that is sometimes a shallow point of view, meaning you only are concerned with what is obvious. You're not looking deeper. You don't even take the time to go deeper, which is the opposite of shallow. You don't take the time to see if a person has something more to offer you other than something that you can see. That could be financial, that could be physical, and that can also be anything materialistic. There are a lot of materialistic people among us, and therefore they travel through this world that way. That is the shallow way. Well, on the other hand, what is the opposite of shallow? The opposite of shallow is deep, wide, broad, extensive, penetrating, profound, just to say a few. And we would like to cap it off with immeasurable, unfathomable, limitless, and boundless. When you are the opposite of shallow, then you gain a different capability. You gain a different ability to raise your frequency that you operate in and on. When you operate off the limitless, boundless, deep frequencies, you are now looking beyond what is obvious. You're now looking beyond sight. You're not so much attracted to the physical part of the person or whatever it is that you're seeking. You're now looking towards a little deep. You're looking in a little bit more deeper. You're starting to ask deeper questions, such as, can they stimulate me beyond the physical? Can they keep me emotionally entertained or content? Can they keep me spiritually content? Can they help me grow? Which ways can they help me grow? Now you're starting to ask those deeper questions, which have no limits, if given to that person that you're asking them of a chance, a real qualifying, honest chance, earnest chance, I should say. If you do that, then you'll find that you're going to find more richness, more qualities inside of people that you maybe not perceive to be the type of company that you prefer to keep, based off of what? Based off of your shallowness, based off of what is obvious. Some people don't dress uppity, they dress down. That is to keep away any kind of predators or any kind of misperceptions, misconceptions, any kind of shallowness. They don't really want to be around people that are shallow. So they are dressing down just to see who you really are. Deep inside. I use that word deep because that is the opposite of shallow. A person like myself used to be shallow. I was once the most conceited person that I probably knew, and that was myself. If you didn't have a certain look about you, a certain height, a certain weight, I would not talk to you. If you wasn't a certain age or in a certain arena in life, I would not talk to you. That's how I used to be when I was a teenager, a young adult. But when I became an adult, I realized that I had passed up a lot of opportunities that could have turned out to be potential benefits and assets to me had I would have perceived them and came across to them a lot differently, a little bit more opposite of what I was coming across. a little bit more limitlessly and boundlessly. Instead of judging a book by its cover, I should have read the book, is what it comes down to. So are you the person that judge a person by the cover of their book, or are you the person that, gives that cover a chance, open up the book and read what that person is like, who they are as a person? Because that's going to determine what frequency you operate on with that person and with all people in general, for that matter. So, are you shallow? Or are you more deep? Are you a person who is looking for someone who compliments you in every way, form, and fashion? Or are you okay with just being taken care of materialistically? That is the question that you have to ask yourself and be honest with yourself when you go to answer it. But this has been another one of Brother Herman's sermons. Are you shallow? Because if you are, that's probably why you're not faring so well along your journey. If you want to fare better, you lose the shallowness. Take off the blinders. Be open-minded. Start looking at people for what qualities they pertain, or what qualities that they possess. Ask them deeper questions to see where they are driven, what their intentions are. What are their aspirations? What do they want in life? Because sometimes people can change their outer appearance a lot faster than they can change the inner appearance. So why don't we start working on our inner appearance a little bit more than our outer appearance? Because at the end of the day, it is the inner appearance that ascends or descends. It is the inner self that elevates or declines. You don't want to find yourself by yourself. And if that's the case, you might want to lose that shallowness about yourself, if that's you that I'm talking to. And I'm not saying that all people are shallow, but I'm saying that there's a lot of us out there who are shallow, and shallow recognize shallow, deep recognize deep. The player recognized the game, right? The game recognized the player, and it goes so on and so forth. If you're shallow, take a look at why you're shallow. Is it the way you grew up? Were you, what they call low self-esteem, self-conscious as you were growing up as a child? Because I know I was. That's probably why I was so shallow when I became a teenager and a young man. But I also know that I left a long trail of heartache. I hurt a lot of hearts out there because of that shallowness, because of being feeling less than or low self-esteem. I didn't think highly of myself because I was looking at the obvious. I was looking at my outer instead of looking at my inner. When I learned how to stop that looking outwardly, and I started learning how to look inwardly, well, the problem wasn't out there that I found. The problem was inside. I was able to appreciate the qualities that are inside of me more so than the qualities that are outside of me. And when I became able to do that, then those two was able to intertwine, and the inner became able to intertwine with my outer. And that makes me more of a success story, if you will, a prize, a catch for anyone. And I just happened to be blessed about almost 4 years ago with the love of my life. She chose me for my inner, probably my outer, some of my outer too, but more so of my inner. She chose me because of my spirituality, my essence that resides within me. That's why she chose me. She didn't choose me for my outer. Most women, not young girls, not little girls, choose their men, not boys, because of what's inside of them, because of their inner essence, not because of what's outside of them. So until next time, when we launch episode number 6 inside of MaikumCdeTruth.org, 6 no title yet, series 22, God empowers us through. Everything that we have questions about, challenges with, or feeling like something that we cannot overcome, something that is irritating you, frustrating you, that's what we're here for. Hit that comment button. Let us know what you're going through. If you want to comment on this episode, by all means do so. If you need help or assistance in any way, shape, or form, whether it be psychological, mental, spiritual, give us a shout out on that comment button. If you want to assist us in any way, all the information you need to assist us is on the front of this channel. If it's not, hit that comment button. We'll make it a way for you to assist us. Until then, stay tuned for episode number 6, no title yet, inside of series 22. God empowers us through. Till then, my name is Brother Herman, inside of Make 'em See the Truth. Brother Herman's sermons. May God continue to bless us all. May you have yourself a great rest of your day, your afternoon, and your night. God bless.